people, 'tis Jet again, playing Minecraft for the episode 12. I'll probably have shown you a clip already. Just I wanted to show progress on this floor after having just cut through the hillside, which I was proud of for some bizarre reason. But here it is complete-ish. I could fill these out a little bit, but I'm not really going to worry about that because the project for today is to begin the next floor up. Now, for anybody who had the constitution to follow through with my last episode, it ended up a bit longer than I expected. It was the first time I'd actually put together individual clips, and they added up much. Oh, cat. He probably can't hear him, but he's wants to go outside. And can't because we live on the 10th floor. What was I saying? Oh. Yeah. Plus, the end of the episode got jittery, and it was not obvious to me when I was recording. I did suffer from lag, but not video lag. It was more connectivity. But anyways, here we go. It's a floor. And I'm going to start the next one. I just finished having lunch using green pesto I made because I had so many of the ingredients left over from having made it twice this week. The only thing I lacked was pine nuts, and but I had tons of almonds, so I tried that, and it worked. Because if various inflections of could become its own language. Oh, jitter, jitter, jitter. What is this stuff? Anyways. Here, let me start. I can do two things at once, can't I? Cat, do not bother me right now. Seriously. I know you want something, but bad time. You've been fed. Alright. Psst. Seriously, go away. Your timing is not good. Okay, so let's see. Do I have all the supplies? I do not. So what was I saying? Oh, yeah, the pesto with almonds. Definitely an almond hint to it over in substituting with from pine nuts. And it was a bit thicker, but that's neither one of these things is bad. It works quite well. So I sort of very lightly pan fried up some other spinach because the spinach is a major component of this pesto, and then I, with some leftover peppers, and then I boiled some spinach penne, so spinach, and spinach, and had a little bit of a lunch off of that, and that was good. I only took an ounce of the sauce, which means I have 11 ounces left. So there's quite a lot. I may still have to make a small or medium-sized pizza some point in the next couple of days using this sauce. So, sorry, I'm just going around in circles trying to figure out where in the heck I'm going to start because I can't think and talk at the same time. The floor above is definitely of different design than what we've already done because I gesture with my hands. And unfortunately, I do have to start somewhere with an anchor, don't I? So let's see. Right here is an obvious spot. No. I tore down the forest I had growing up here, in part because it was growing faster than I can cut it down. And I have enough wood for now. So I also have saplings. So many freaking saplings I don't need. Now, does this complicate the floor above? I don't think it does, but the floor starts here. So it needs to be one over. So it's basically the same as... So, one. It's 5 deep. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh man, you see, I thought I had things to talk about today. And now that I'm actually doing this, I forgot what they were. That's no good. I should find a better way to talk about what I'm actually doing. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It just seems wrong because it doesn't line up. I suppose I had said earlier that I'm going to make the ceilings a little bit on the low side by having panels, just to obscure some of these lines where they will not cross. Cat's having a fit. No, you can't go outside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's technically true. And these are 1 wide doors. Next. Oops. How is it I always seem to start out in the dark? Oh, that's correct. Let's see. Think. I think sometime soon I'm going to have to start doing my op-ed series that has nothing to do with Minecraft. Just because I have been spending time in Minecraft ranting to an extent, I guess. I know that's not the same over there, but this is different. What am I saying? On topics that I care about, like politics, how people really should be involved in it, because if they aren't, then only corrupt people will be. That being an opinion that I think has substance. Anybody can investigate on their own, obviously. But this should be done in a series designated for these kinds of topics, so that people who actually want to be involved with those topics can be, and are not forced to because they would really like to watch a Minecraft video and not listen to politics or science or stuff. Granted, there's always going to be someone who likes it, and there could probably even potentially be enough people who like the combination as to keep me going. Not that I really need anything to keep me going at this point, but, the point being, is that wide enough? 1, 2, 3. That looks more like it. See how much easier this is, doing it from below? I don't have to worry about falling off the side of the world. I do have to worry about running into these things. That's probably a design flaw. I'm not sure why I put them in so early anyways. When I finish the floors... Man, so now that's the right height. When I finish the floors, I'll worry about the walls, because they might want some level of decoration. And that's the sort of thing that once I'm involved with it, I could probably yammer on about while doing it, such that they're both in context and I can accomplish both at the same time. Let's see. This goes as far as, or just short of this. And then it extends out a little bit. I really wish you could put slabs in the same block that are different. Maybe in a future update they'll enable this. I understand it's probably not the easiest thing in the world to do, but it is within the realm of possibility. I really would like to understand why that's happening, because there are circumstances where that would be really useful if I could make it happen on demand. But I'm not sure how that is, and I certainly don't like that it's happening when I don't want it to. Let's see. But yeah, op-ed series is right. The thing I need is a microphone to pull that off, because I have a decent camera, old, relatively speaking, an old, it's a Canon T1i. I realize we're up to a T4i these days. So it's quite old in the grand scheme of things, even if it's not at all really old in any rational sense. Technology can last longer than this, and the only reason it doesn't is because people make more money by making you replace your stuff. Which is another op-ed rant topic of some future date. Is this correct? Is this correct? Yeah, because that goes straight out for a long, pure diagonal for quite a while. So that's definitely right. However, let's see here. This extends out a ways. How many? 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That helps define things a little bit. gonna be dark under here. It's a good thing there aren't any monsters I am turned on right now. Just because they'd probably start spawning in the middle of the day, given how dark it's gonna be under here. My presumption of how that stuff works. Oh. Okay. But yeah, there are a number of topics I'd like to do little demos on, and to be fair, I am not an expert in any of them. I'm just having ideas. So hey, you know, if I send out an idea and it has any merit and some guy, some scientist or politician or whatever comes along and gives it a second thought and it works, then I've helped. And if it doesn't, then I've at least inspired some creative thought. And that's all. That's all that matters. Let's see. So this technically is going to pinch off up here. So how do we get up there from here? I should probably build myself another set of ladders. I did a sound test earlier where I was whistling and I was kind of taken with it. So now I might actually include it in the video for no good reason. Let's see. Oh shoot. Let us just say I've been going for 5 minutes already, which means I'll cut this off around 1:10. That's 20 minutes from now. So maybe 1:15. For crying out loud, for crying out loud. Let's see. Let me fill in this guy here. Okay, so this is not quite the center point. Here, and then one inside. This is the center point. The rooms up here on this level are a little bit more complicated. And in fact, right around there is going to be a spiral staircase. Oh, but yeah. One theory about the jittery video from last time could be that I was running Photoshop on the other screen. So not only am I recording video and playing Minecraft, but I've got Photoshop with PSDs highly zoomed in, because one of the nice things about CS4, I realize it's old and I don't care, was, and I'm sure maybe it's probably true of more modern ones as well, but okay. One of the nice things was when you zoom in really far, it starts building these little temporary borders around pixels. So it kind of takes pixel art and turns it into like Minecraft blocks, at least in a 1 or 2 dimensional sense. Do I have anything else while I'm here? Okay. So I was using it as a reference, because the size of this thing defies any graph paper. Okay, seriously. So I had it up on the other screen. Now I had it up on the other screen the entire time, which means that at first it was not a problem for my processor, weak as it is, MacBook, to handle all this. Bear with me. If I'm facing inwards, is that 3 long? It's not 3 long. Okay, that's why I'm confused. This one here. What was I saying? I'm lost already. Well, it was not too much at first, but if even one of these devices, one of these softwares, be it Photoshop, Snaps, whatever it is, Snaps Pro, and Minecraft, if even one of them has a memory leak, then performance would get progressively worse the longer you went. So that's my theory. I am no longer using, at this point, none of these, Snaps Pro and none of these. I cannot do 2 things at once at all. I can't. And I'm starting to get to where I want to see this from above. But anyways, I took a screenshot of the highly zoomed in plan from Photoshop, and then I made it a background on my second monitor, which means a lot less resources are devoted to displaying it. So that'll help. Let's see. So boink, boink, boink. That's not right, is it? Yes, it is. I'm just turned around. These apartments are not individually symmetrical. Oof, man, I'm having a hard time visualizing this. I'm sorry. So it's on this side, I believe. Oh. No. Let's see. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, it's sort of a hallway that leads to a small room. It's just I'm sort of, from being on this side of the map and underneath, the perspective is reversed in funny ways. It's kind of causing me difficulties. So this ends. Wait a minute. Not to mention these things I have to keep jumping up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there are, in fact, 7, because there's a door. And the doors right now, whoops, are wood. Or the door underpinnings are wood. Okay, which means this is also a door, which leads into a 5x5 room. So, I have a second legitimate follower now, or subscriber. I mean, Arrington subscribed to me, and he's legitimate, but, you know, he's also an acquaintance / friend from work, or was until yesterday when he moved on to a new and better job dealing with bone marrow in the DoD. I'm not sure how the two mix, but apparently they do, so it's all good. Oh, there's something wrong here. Because there's a little, like, closet. I had to be creative in how the space was used. So I was wondering why it wasn't jutting off in the direction that made sense. But it doesn't go anywhere. It just looks, compared in scale to everything else, this looks awfully condensed. I mean, these are not like luxury. Oh, screw me, whatever. I can't think, so I won't think. That makes sense. There is a plaza here. I'll do the plaza next. One challenge is the plaza has to support a tree. There is going to be a tree up here that actually grows up through a hole into the plaza above on the next floor up, which is, I think, the topmost. I'll have to yank a couple of these out, I suspect. I've already... But right now I need the shape. So yeah, actually, these two go. There's a certain, having planned this out ahead, there's a certain lack of creativity going on at the moment, which I think maybe makes it harder for me to talk about what's going on, because I'm following a plan instead of thinking on the fly. You can argue that might be deleterious in this construct. I think. Yeah, that's definitely true. Okay. Which means... Is that right? Yes, that is right. I like that word deleterious. I use it a lot. So you can see the layers are not particularly obeying one another. That will change somewhat between this and the next one up, because the next one up is mostly plaza. It's the surface, the upper surface of our citadel, with a couple of houses. Like think House Harkonnen, House Atreides, that live on that plaza. They're like the noble families of the place, whatever this place will be called, and they have towers. And I'm not sure what the point of the towers is, but they have spiral staircases of a lesser stature than this one that connect the houses, upper and lower floors. The lower floors being on this level and the upper being the one above, which intrude into the plaza. So there will be spiral staircases, and I think that will require. I've given the space for them, but there may be some creativity required to make them make sense. So technically, there's going to be dirt here, which definitely requires the use of upside-down slabs to cover that up, which does mean if I'm going to have slabs in all these rooms too, it is going to be kind of claustrophobic. But at the same time, spiral staircases work really well when you have this, 3 high rooms. So it's going to be 2.5, which means testificates' heads will be, ooh, not this again, rubbing up against the ceiling a little bit. Life is horrible, isn't it? Okay. Is that right? Oh, yeah, because I haven't done this much yet. Don't do that. Played some Skyrim first thing this morning. I was clearing out some small quests. I just want to clean up my list. I have not, as yet, in that game, finished any one major quest line. I am maybe halfway through Mages, third of the way through, or maybe halfway through the Thief. Haven't even picked up any of the others yet. Maybe only a quarter or a third of the way through the actual Dragon line, the primary quest line itself. And yet, I'm level 50. Now, part of that is because I have spent a lot of time with the trade skills. I'm like 100% blacksmith. There's going to be a door here. 100% blacksmith, 100%... Well, not alchemy. I'm like 96 alchemy. Ooh, I've run out. This is actually the extent up here. This is a jut out, so... And you notice it matches this. That's pretty intentional as we go along. Is it still dark? I could swear that it has been nighttime the entire time I've been doing this. That can't be true, can it? Or I'm just only noticing when it gets dark. Oh well. Do-do-do-do. Ooh. Should get some of these while I'm here. Look at that. Oak leaves up the yazoo. Saplings. I've expanded this as well. I did all the trees for a while. See this? I can make so many jungle trees right now. I mean the big ones. No, cat. No. He feels needy. The demon has needs. Okay. I was reading an article recently about these seemingly cute things that cats do that actually are quite evil. Of course, the major topic was the fact that they're little murder balls that kill everything basically in sight. For every one thing they bring you, like to try to train you how to hunt for yourself, you completely naive beast thing. For every one of those, they leave like 3 dead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, this is a copy of what's on the other side. Here, the symmetry is like 2 ways. 1, 2. But also, they do a few other things that are uncouth. Like when they rub up against your feet, that's them leaving their scent on you as a declaration of ownership. They own you. And when they wash them, as often as they wash themselves, if you actually stop to test this theory, you find out that they wash themselves most frequently after contact with people. And the reason being, you stink, and they don't want to stink like you. So they clean themselves to get that scent off. And then promptly try to put their scent back on you again. So I guess they don't want to feel owned. Which is kind of interesting in a certain way. There's a bunch of things in that article. And they didn't actually provide resources, so to an extent you could claim maybe this isn't scientific. But whatever, you know. It was entertaining even if it ends up being not entirely true. Okay, so this just keeps going. Let me deal with this here. How far? Where does it stop? You know, typical episode length is probably not sufficient for all this. Where is... I have to be careful. I also have to redact some of this. Because... Do that one too? I believe so. Because they, ooh. I think I did it just right. By accident. Because this and this connect. Haha! Okay. And it is in fact 3 wide, so I'll just fill this all up. Oh! Bring it in! Ooh! You know what? I'll put links in the description for this. But someone I follow, have been following for years. I don't even remember how I found this person. They go by Trying Emmy. You know, I have forever he was saying Emmy, but people have corrected me. Trying Emmy does a UFO romance comic, which actually the writing in it is really good. You know, it's a topic you might not associate that sort of thing with, but it's actually really well written. The characters are engaging, and the story is foreshadowing enough to keep you really interested. So it's well done. And I found her at some point that I can't remember and have followed her. And in fact, through that whole thing, met who is the person who is now my fiancée, because she was doing fan art of this comic series. And I thought it was really good. And so we started, you know, I asked if she'd be willing to do some commissions to design some of the creatures and characters for my own stories, which I really should be working on. Everybody who's listening to this, please punch me in the face. Make me work on it. Including my one new subscriber whose name is like Harf. Sorry, I don't have it in front of me, but it's the impression I got. I've already lost track of my conversation. I am so good at this. Crap. But anyways, the first thing I saw was a couple of days ago, because I watch, out of all the people out in Minecraft, I watch Beef specifically, and I enjoy them all, but I sort of am exposed to everyone else through Beef, or Vintage Beef. So I haven't watched too many of the other videos, and I'll make up for that at some point. But anyways, I started following him on Twitter once I found out that he was there. And one of the very first things that came up was one of those automatic messages that comes from your interactions on YouTube saying, Vintage Beef likes a video by Trying Emmy. I'm like, what? So I went and looked at this video, and it's her drawing, doing speed draw or sped up drawing of Vintage Beef and a couple other characters, Pause, Unpause, and Etho, I think. And I was just like, woohoo, my world just got really small. that these people that I either follow or know personally, as I have met, actually. I mean, see, I just did it. No, that wasn't Amy. Never mind. Anyways, it was really good. And I was enthused, and I'm running around in circles. What's next? This comes out into one of those 5x5s again. Let me do that. Make real progress. It is 110. So I really shouldn't do this much longer. Or, I could just do 2 episodes. If I do 2 episodes, then I'll be in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well enough ahead that I can actually compile the videos this weekend and then do some work I owe people, like the email server, which I finally made rational progress on, but there's still much left to do. There's a couple of things jutting from this that are not jutting on the other side. I'm not sure if I want to maintain that. This side. But this points inward, so doink, doink. Boop, boop. Oh, you know what? There's also a door here. Well, wait a minute. What's there then? What is that? I guess that's just solid. I generally try to avoid having walls that are too thick, but sometimes, given the overall shape of what I had and the creative process of trying to fit normal-ish looking rooms into it, occasionally leaves stuff where I have a wall that is more than 1 thick. I try to avoid it, but it's not entirely possible to avoid it completely. I'm going to run out of wood again. I'll have to build another forest. I may have to do it on the other side where there's room now that this is up here. So this goes to 3. We'll see there. It's obvious. 3 to each side. I'm thinking of Goonies for some reason. Okay, so that's 2, which means it contracts slightly. For 3. And then 2 more as it fits here. Very good. Oh, wasn't I mentioning my op-eds that I haven't made any of yet earlier? One of the things I need, aside from the camera, which I already have, but I mean, I could set that up so that with with one of my good lenses, I have a very interesting depth of field, so that I could sit somewhere outside, like on grass or near the river or something like that, and then what's in front of me is fuzzy and what's behind me is fuzzy, so it gives a real depth of field vision to it, and I like that stuff. But if I did that, you wouldn't be able to hear me talk. So I would have to have a microphone with a cord of some length, probably good 12 feet or more. The microphone I'm using for this right now is pretty good, but it's this bulky thing, and its cord is not compatible with my camera. So I have to potentially invest in yet another microphone. I might prefer something I could wear, because I don't want to hold something up to my face. Maybe they have radio, like they broadcast over short distances, so there's no cable at all. If that doesn't exist, somebody should invent it. But that's a thing I have to figure out soon. Let's see. That much is done. I'm a little confused now. This all has to... When this is done, it will make more sense. And as I'd said, I'm not... There was a nub in this wall, like right here, but it's not present in the same room on the other side, the reflective one, so I'm not going to do it here. Or I'd have to do it in both. But the room already has a nub, this sort of closet where I could put a door. So I don't want to do that again. So I'm on the inside track, which means this sticks out. No, that's the outside. So this is wrong. Sticks out over here. This, by the way, well, that's already sticking out. So 1, 2, 3. Choose it. Okay. Well, okay. Let me call this an episode. And is it number 12? I'm making progress. I demand that everyone, like myself, have a good night.